Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully complete our new variable portions, that means new variable component part, and also I have added some of the functionality. If you click as a next button, then that will be the next rather than the previous one, right? Which is totally perfect. So now friend, in this video I want to work for our another portion for the mega menu and the slider. So that will be in our home top page. Okay, into the home top page I want to segment with the two part. One will be, that means here I want to load one of the mega menu, and also in our right side I want to load one of the slider. Okay, if you want to do that work, I want to create another component. So into the home area I have already created on the component as a slider, another is the mega menu, right? So now we have to work both of this. So right now we don't need this, I close it. So into the home folder, I want to create another new file, and I just name it as a home top. Okay, I name it as a home and then top.jsx. So this type of one of the component, I want first of all to create one of the class based component as with the RCE, which is totally fine. And then here our common part I want to load. That means I want to load that fragment, so that will be as a fragment. I want to load that container, so I load this container, I load on the row, take on the row, and also I want to take on the column, so that will be as a column. Okay, I load on the column. Perfect. So also we have to import it, and that means if you go to our feature product, so from the feature product I want to load both of this. I copy it. Now in our home top, into the home top I load it, so that will be as a container, row, column, and then cart. Okay friend, here I want to actually segment in particular that position. So I want to take two of this column. Now I take two of this column, and for the first column here I want to load our mega menu, and into the second column here I want to load our slider. Okay, like for the that is should be also as a responsive. For the first column I want to make one of the grid as a large skin. For the large, that will be as a 3, and for the medium skin I also make it as a 3. That means that will be as a 4 part, and then I want to do for the small icon I want to make it as a 12. Okay, so I make it as a 12. Perfect. And also the same, there is another part, so here I take it as a 3. So into this column area for the large skin, I make it as a 9. So take that 9 column for the display our total slider. And for the medium skin, I also want to make it as a 9, and for the small skin that will be as a single one, so I make it as a 12. Okay, I take this type of one of the grid. Into this grid area here, as I told you friend, I want to load our mega menu in here, and also I want to load our slider in particular that position. I want to load this mega menu component. So if you want to load it, that will be as a mega. Okay, mega menu. I want to use it as a mega, and then menu. So it's not loaded, but I want to first of all create this component as a RCE. Here I will load this class based component, because from here also we have to export it, right? For the reasons actually it's not get that this mega menu, I simply create on the class based component. And also there is another one as a slider. For the slider I want to also create another one, RCE. There is a class based component, so there is a slider. Here I want to load one of the fragment. Okay, that was a fragment. I load this fragment, and also here I want to load this fragment. If you go to our mega menu, into the mega menu also I want to load that fragment. Okay, I want to load this fragment both of these places. So now if you click as a save all, so now that should be give you some of the instruction for in our home top. In the home top here I want to load that our mega menu, so there is a mega and then menu. Why it's not giving me the instruction? So here I want to load our this mega menu, and also here I want to load that our slider, because for the slider it is display as a SRC component home slider. So now I also want to load this slider, in particular this column, and there is a mega menu. So also here we have to load it. But I want to load the same position. That means that is into the same page. So that is our name it. I name it as a mega menu. So I'll name it a mega menu, and from that will be comes from our this mega menu, right? So that will be as a mega menu. So I input both of this. So there is a mega menu, and there is a mega menu. I simply loaded this mega menu on here. That means in our first column, and in our second column I loaded that slider. Okay friend, and also I want to now display our this home top. So this home top I want to display in our home page for the first time. For the in our first area it should be loaded our home top. So I want to load this component. So that will be as a home, and that is our home top, that is from the src component home and then home top. So I simply loaded this home top in particular that position. So that is our home top is now loaded, right? So now if you want to display it, I want to do in our mega menu, I want to use one of the h1 tag. Okay, I want to use one of the h1 tag. I name it as a mega menu. For now I want to actually check it only. I copy it, and for the slider it will be displayed as a slider. Okay, it should be displayed as a slider. So now if you click as a save all, so I have already loaded our home top. Into the home top I segment the 3 column and the 9 column. That means that is our 12 column, and I loaded our this home page, that is in our home top in our this home page area. So now that should be displayed fast. Now click as a refresh. Yes, you can see there is our one part and there is our another part. So this part I actually segment as a 3, that is a column 3, and this part actually our column 9. Okay, perfect. Now I want to design our mega menu first. So if you want to working with this mega menu, I have already created some of the CSS for this. If you go to that big slider and then the mega menu, so you can see mega menu CSS. So I have already write down some of the CSS. That is very simple. One of the CSS code. You can see it's very simple. Some of the CSS code actually. I created one of the class name as Accordion, active, Accordion after, Accordion however, what exactly it should be do. That is our panel, Accordion menu dev. So here I write down all that CSS. But right now I want to copy everything. Okay, I copy everything, and then I have already created another CSS before for the mega menu. If you go to that CSS, you can see I have already created the mega menu. So now I want to simply paste it. So now I want to actually call all that our CSS in here. That means that is in our mega menu area. So into this mega menu I want to remove everything. Okay, I want to remove this figment. Here I want to load one of the div. So I take one of the div and I close this div, and into this div area I want to load on the class name, and I want to add that class name on the class. So I have already created this class. If you go to that mega menu CSS, so with the mega menu CSS I want to load this. That is actually this is the Accordion main dev. Okay, so this Accordion main dev I want to load it. So it is in our mega menu, but I want to take it in here. So into the mega menu class I want to load this class. Okay, and after that I take another one. I take another div. So as I told you friend, I am actually not write down that CSS code. Is very easy CSS code. I have already designed it. So now I want to actually use it in here. So they have the lot of the things we have to cover. So now step by step I want to show you. For the reasons here I don't want to focus to write down the CSS. Is very basic CSS code. I want to use it. Okay, so now there is a class name, another dev, and with this dev area I take one of the class name. So now here I want to use that another class I have created. That is actually this one as Accordion. There is a redirection will be as a LTR. So now I want to use it. So I copy it, and now in our this mega menu, this class I want to use this class. Okay, so now I simply loaded this class in here, and after that I want to take one of the button. Okay, I take one of the button, button. So that is a button. I want to load this button. Into this button I also want to take another class name. Class name I want to use it. If you go to that mega menu, so our button will be this Accordion. Okay, I copy it. So there is a background color, and then the color will be carousel will be pointed. Padding I have added the 7 pixel. Wide will be as a 100% border. I make it as a 1 pixel solid as a this color as a DDD. Now I want to run it, then everything will be more clear. Here I want to load this Accordion. Okay, so this Accordion I load it, and here I want to load on the image. That means one of the icon I want to actually visible. I want to close this image, and here that will be one of the src. Okay, I make one of the src here, which will be loaded one of the src in particular that position. And also for this image I have created another CSS. That means another class. I name it as a class name. Class name will be for this. I name it as some of the icon CSS maybe. There is icon CSS. So there is actually icon menu CS icon. You can see there is the accordion menu icon. So now I want to use this one. I copy it. So now in our mega menu here I want to load it. So friend, here I want to load some of the icon. If you want to get some of the icon, like I search with the icon icon image. Okay, what the icon image, there is this one. Actually you will get a lot of the icon from to this position. I want to take some of the icon for the free icon I want to actually use. Okay, so now copy that image address, and then here I want to use it, the src. I simply load it in particular that position. Okay, and then that is our and button. That is our and button, which is totally fine. So now first of all, check it, click as a save all, and now go to our project. Now click as a refresh. You can see it's now perfect. It's now get this our icon. After that icon, I want to load some of the UL and the LI. That is our total images. There is a button, and after that button I take another div. Okay, I take another div, and here I take another class name. I want to use it. That will be here I want to use that class name as this panel. Okay, I want to use this panel. I copy it. So now that will be another panel, and into this panel area I want to load on the UL, and then LI. I load on the LI, and into this LI I want to put some of the href link. Okay, and that will be the I close this href. That will be as a href. So that is very basic HTML code. For now I make it as a hash. Okay, so hash, and then for this I also want I have created another class name. To load this class name. For this I have created for the item that is actually initial active after the main div. This actually accordion item. Okay, I want to use this accordion item. I copy it. So now I want to use it. Okay, that is our ELI, but I want to make it a little bit left side. Okay, left side. So that is our ELI, and href class name I make it as a accordion item, and then here I want to load some of the name as a man's t-shirt. Okay, I name it as a man's t-shirt. Perfect. And in our this button, into the button area I didn't load any name. So here I also want to load another names into this button area. That will be as a man's. Okay, that will be as a man's clothing. This type of one of the name I want to actually use. Now click as a save all. Now that should be loaded. Now click as a refresh. Yes, you can see it's now showing as a man's clothing. They have some of the icon, and here I want to load all that our next menu. That means when you click it on here, that will be actually drop down. It will be hidden, and then that will be loaded our this sub menu. That means that is actually our LI, and then UL and LI will be loaded. Okay. Right now for education purpose, I want to take 2. We have to also work a little bit. So I take as a man's t-shirt 1. Okay, 1, and then man's t-shirt 2. Okay, so that will be as a man's 1 and the 2. So that should be display in here. So and also that is in our this place I want to make it as a fluid true. Then that will be actually started from our very beginning. So I want to do that work. So here I have already segmented our this mega menu in our home page, right? Not that home page. That is I have created as a home top. So that is actually our home top. So into the home top I want to make it here. I want to make it as a fluid. Okay, fluid ID, and I make it as a true. So that will be as a true. So now that should be from to full screen. Now click the refresh. Yes, now you can see it's now perfectly in particular that position. And also they have some of the gap, right? And they have some of the gap I want to also add some of the padding, and then I want to use some of the margin. Then that will be perfect. Like here in our container, I want to add another class name. Okay, there is a class name, and into this class name area I want to use on the padding. I make it as a 0, and also I want to make it as a margin. I want to make it as a 0, and overflow. Okay, overflow I want to make it as a hidden. Okay, I make it as a hidden. So now that should be perfect. So now click as a save all, and now if you go, now click as a refresh. Perfect. You can see it's now very close to our last skin, which is totally fine. And also that if after that images that is very close to our name, right? So it's very close to our name. I want to do and to update it. Like here they have some of the, I want to do and to put on the gap. Okay, after that images I have just simply put one of the gap. Rather than you can also use one of the space code. So I have already used that space code maybe in our new variable. So into the new variable I have used some of the space, like you can see there is a space code. I copy it. So now in our mega menu here I want to do, after that I want to use some of the space. Now if we click as a save all and now refresh it, perfect, right? So now I want to add that multiple one. I want to add that multiple one. So that is our button, right? So that is our button started, button ended, and there is a div started, div ended. So now I want to copy it. So that will be the same concept. I copy it, and after that there is a last div, and then here I paste it again. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now click as a save all. Now if you go refresh it, you can see all that menu is now successfully loaded. Now friend, here we have to add some of the functionality, like when you click as a man's clothes, the man's clothes related all that subcategory will be loaded. And also here I want to fix some of the menu. So after that menu it will be scrolling. Okay, that means here it will be scrolling all that our rest of this menu. So how can do that work, how can add this functionality? In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.